Okay, so today I want to talk about what it means to be a fighter. We know that when people are afraid, they tend to either freeze, flee, or fight. So when we're fighters, which is what I am, so that makes it a little hard to talk about. When we're fighters, what we really want is to try to fix the problem as quickly as possible. That's what we're really trying to do, although I know that may not feel that way when you're living with us. But it's kind of important to know. So if you know you're motivated to try to make it better, then that gives you a lot of room to do the things that when you're having conversations that really don't sound as much like fighting. So your choice is to fight with your spouse or fight with your children, or you could fight for the relationship. That's hard to do, but it's so important to know the difference. Okay, so the advantage to being a fighter is this. When you think about the solution to the fear problem, which the solution or the best strategy is to push pause, pray, and then take judicious action. When you think about those three parts of that solution, fighters like me, we're really wanting to take action. We kind of skip the first two parts and we go straight to the third part. But that's kind of good to know. So sometimes the most loving action that you can take is to wait. And we don't like doing that very much at all. But you have to give, especially if you're married to someone who tends to flee or tends to freeze, you have to give them time to process the information they have in their head and figure out what's making them afraid. And to do that, sometimes the most judicious action a fighter can take is to wait patiently. So in order to do that, we have to pray a lot. Praying helps us be patient, I think. One good thing about a fighter is when you see somebody fighting, what they're really telling you is they care about the relationship and they care about you. One thing that's important is to know how to change an argument back into a conversation. And I've written a ton on that. There's more on that on Kathy Craffey. That's Kathy with a C, K-R-A, F as in Frank, V as in Victor, E as in Edward.com, or at the Bullard Banner. I've written some columns about changing arguments back into conversation. So I hope you'll look there for that help. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, I know one thing I want to share is if you can begin to see your spouse or your children or those you love as collaborators in your relationship, instead of making them the villain in the narrative, that really helps. Because when we have a person that we love and we see them as a collaborator, then that allows us to fight for the marriage together instead of fighting with each other. So I hope that really helps you. Don't forget, push pause, pray, take judicious action, and in my case, or in our case, if you're a fighter, judicious action may be waiting patiently. Okay, now the next one is going to be on answers this question: is fear the opposite of faith? I think the answer may surprise you and probably encourage you. So I hope you'll tune in for some of these other episodes. Thanks. Bye-bye.